Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, Sunday edition, card show review time. I'm stoked. I'm pumped. I had a great Saturday. Baseball card road trip, Normal, Illinois. Easy shot for me. It's about right smack dab at 3 hours. In fact, if I straight through, I probably could have made it in 2:45. Maybe 2:50, 2:55. But I made a couple stops along the way, which I'll get into. But it's basically completely interstate for me. And of course, the Twin Cities of Bloomington Normal hold a special place in my heart, taking me back to the era of 2000 to 2004, my college years, and all the fun that I had, despite not attending the university. But I had more fun at ISU than I did at my own school. Brought back great memories. So Uncle is not doing well. He is in the COVID ward in Iowa City. Got a phone call yesterday. My mom got a phone call yesterday morning. So she had to take my aunt down to Iowa City. It's 2.5 hours. I talked to my mom last night. She's exhausted from everything going on. My aunt did stay, found a hotel. Iowa had a home game, so it was difficult finding hotels near the hospital. She stayed down there. He was doing much better once they got to the hospital. But it's just been, just kind of a daily thing. So it's not looking good though. It's just unfortunate background here. My aunt and uncle fully vaccinated, but my uncle does have a lot of underlying health issues. Cross-country road trip from the state of Oregon to New York. They came to Illinois. They visited my mom. This would have been 2 weeks ago, and they camped the RV in my mom's driveway for 3, 4, or 5 days. And then they came up into Wisconsin near me, not far from me, actually, where my cousin lives. I did not visit them. They were, I think, here in Wisconsin for a few nights. They were sick here in Wisconsin. And then they went back to Illinois and just kind of quarantined in the RV. And then I had a couple other cousins that were visiting. One was a nurse, and my uncle was was in really poor health. They had to call 911. He was taken to a hospital and then transferred to the larger hospital in Iowa City. So not good there. So that's what's going on there. Good stuff. Baseball cards. Took the road trip yesterday. One of my plans was I wanted to hit some Walmarts because Thursday or Friday I saw some tweets from some guys in the Sterling area. Their Sterling Walmart, Sterling, Illinois, was like fully stocked with like Topps, Chrome, Bowman, even Bowman. And so I thought about this on the drive. It's like I'm stopping at these Walmarts looking for Bowman, but like 4 months ago, somebody would message me like, "Hey, Bowman's up on the Target website." It's like, I've opened up enough Bowman. Now it's like I'm out chasing Bowman again. Here's the reason why. There is some type of method to my madness. 3, 4 months ago, I had opened a lot of Bowman. The reason I didn't buy any more was because I'd opened so much Bowman and I didn't want to open anymore. So you say, well, and now I'd chase Bowman and I would sit on it. I wouldn't actually open the Bowman. Maybe I would tear into one blaster, but I would like let it, just sit on a shelf sealed. Why wouldn't I just do that? Buy up a bunch? Because I know every year, like I'm going to open a ton and then I'm going to get tired of it. And then 6 months later, I'm going to want to buy a bunch again at retail and you can't find any. So maybe I'll learn one of these years. So sit sealed. Whereas now, and the reason is because release, I'm getting the unstable connection. So hopefully bear with me here. It's been a while since I've had this unstable connection. Hopefully we're good now. I get the message cleared. So now I'm out looking for Bowman. And I did not find any Bowman. I found some empty display boxes. Now, who knows how long those have been there, but I do know one of the empty display box in the Walmart closest to me has just surfaced fairly recently, I think within the last few weeks. So yesterday morning, I hit the road. I went to Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts is like my jam. My morning, it's like connected to baseball cards now. Dunkin' Donuts before the card shows. So I left a little later than, if I'm going to a card show, especially my card show, it's like 6 a.m. when I'm hitting Dunkin' Donuts, and it's like, boom, pull right in the driveway, pull right into Dunkin' Donuts, drive through. I'm the only one there. Get my power breakfast sandwich, my large coffee, and boom, I'm out of there. Well, at 9 o'clock, it's much different. More people are awake and moving around at 9 a.m. as opposed to 6 a.m. I couldn't even turn in to you turn from the main road, you turn left, and there's a gas station, there's a big grocery store, and then there's a mini mall with the Dunkin' and a couple other places. So couldn't even pull in. And so I'm coming in from the north, turning left, and now all of a sudden there's a car coming up south, and they sneak right into the line like I've been there 5 minutes because it hasn't moved and I can't pull in. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to McDonald's. Even though I hate McDonald's coffee, I'm not going to wait a half an hour. I want to get moving. So I just flipped a Yui, went to the McDonald's, had some crappy McDonald's coffee, couple breakfast burritos, and I was sailing. So I thought about stopping in Janesville at the Walmart there, but I'm like, you know what? Because Janesville's only like a half an hour. It's like, I want to get road time in. I don't want to stop every 30 minutes. So I just cruised by. LaSalle, Peru is kind of like the halfway point between Madison and Bloomington Normal. So, and there's a Walmart in Peru. What's up, Dan? Good morning. There's a Walmart in Peru that I've had some decent luck from time to time. So I'm like, I'm just going to hit that Walmart. It's a good halfway point to stretch the legs and look for some baseball cards. So I went into the Peru Walmart. They had some cards in there. Have you noticed the Walmart stores have like completely changed? There's like no checkouts anymore. Checkouts for like that are like people, like cashiers. Like they've like completely, like it's pretty much all self checkouts. It's crazy. I noticed that actually the two Walmarts near me have not gone that way, but then there's a Walmart on the east side of town that I hit every once in a while, and I went there last weekend because I was on that side of town with the other Walmart, and it's just kind of another skip over, and they had completely, and then all of the ones that I hit, when I stopped in Harvard, Illinois last week, that they had gone to that. LaSalle, Peru Walmart was the same way. And then the other stores that I went to were all like that. So they're like completely taking out like the people cashiers. And it's all self-check. So LaSalle, Peru had Panini Prism and WNBA Prism blasters. And I thought about the WNBA Prism, but it's $35 for a blaster. So I skipped that. I did buy another pack of 500 penny sleeves because I could never have enough. Bought one pack of those. They had a bunch of Panini Prism baseball. So I bought one blaster, which the tag next to it said $19.99, but it must have been for something else because cards are in disarray. It's annoying. I actually had to, when I got the semi-rigids, I had to go up to the lady and be like, can I get a price check on this? Because it's just like, they're just thrown everywhere. It's disarray. There's no price tags. I hate that. So I just assumed I should have known because the WNBA was $35 for a blaster. So I should have known the Prism baseball was $35, but I grabbed one anyway. There was like 6 on the shelf. I'm like, I'm just going to grab one. And I bought 4 or 5 of the fat packs with the red, white, and blue parallels. So, so I did find that. So before I show off what I got, on the way back, I hit which ones did I go to? Rochelle and Janesville. So Rochelle wiped out, didn't have anything. They had some supplies and some magic and Pokemon stuff. So then I went to the Janesville on my way. I was making good time, so I'm like, it's only, gonna add 10 minutes to the commute. Boom, stop in there. They had some stuff. They had, I think they also had WNBA Prism Blasters, maybe Prism Baseball, and they had the new Fleer Metal Hockey, which I'm like, oh, I've heard a little bit about that. I don't know anything about hockey, so I left them. I get in the car and I'm like searching. I'm like, is this a hot product? If it's on the shelf, it's probably not. But there were some decent sales on eBay, and I was contemplating going back in. There were like 5 blasters on the shelf, but I didn't. What did you take back north from Bloomington to get back home? As far as highway, I just take the interstate. I just interstate all the way down, interstate all the way back. I hate interstate, but it's just so easy. It's a straight shot. So I-39 straight from Madison down through Rockford, LaSalle, Peru, where it crosses with I-80 down all the way to Bloomington Normal. So it's straight shot all the way. Can be very boring at times, which is actually kind of nice. After the stretch of interstate from Madison to Rockford is absolutely horrendous. I hate it. There's so much traffic. It's 6 lanes now. So there, like on the way down, there's like 3 cars in, southbound, all going the same speed. And it's like, there's 3 lanes here. Can you move over and like at least let people pass through one of the 3 lanes? But then once you get past Rockford and get onto 39 south of Rockford, it's like you're the only one. Like, I mean, it's like there's nobody within miles. Well, not really. There's some traffic, but once you get past Rochelle, that's where I-88 goes through Rochelle. And once you pass 88 and from Rochelle down to 80, there's like no traffic whatsoever. So it's actually a really nice break after the craziness of the Wisconsin interstates. So I digress. So Janesville, so I didn't buy it. I didn't go back in. And so those were the 3 Wal-Mart stop. So the Prism baseball blasters were $5, and I'm like, I felt so dirty. Fortunately, I only bought one. I felt so dirty paying $35 for a blaster. What is up? Good morning. Did you talk about Mike's shop? Not yet. I have not hit that up yet. I'm getting ready to show off some of my Prism that I picked up at Walmart along the way. So I'm going to review Mike Sommer's card shop here in just a moment. So I paid $35 for a Prism baseball blaster. I felt so dirty. You do receive, what do you get in there? The purple, I think you get a bonus pack with purple, parallels, and white wave. So I pulled this white wave stained glass Juan Soto. Beautiful card. And I'm like, hey, that might be a $5 card. Little did I know. I put it on eBay for $45 and it got scooped up like in 30 minutes. So paid for the blaster. So I was happy with that. I did list some other stuff. I pulled a Taylor Trammell rookie silver. So I bought one blaster in like 5 fat packs. Some of these came in various. This is the Mike Trout stained glass, the regular insert. What's up, Herman? Good morning. Joe Adell rookie. I did pull so these are neon orange, Travis Blankenhorn rookie. These are numbered to 100. I got a Trammell green. I think these are retail exclusive, the greens. Trevor Larnach rookie. Is that a rookie? Yeah, it's a rookie and it's a silver. Pulled a Mike Yastrzemski green. What else was in here? Some purples, not much in the purples. White wave, those are pretty cool. I did pull a Yermin Mercedes white wave. Too bad he wasn't having the season he had in April. And then the red, white, and blues. I did pull an Acuna red, white, and blue. I pulled a Babe Ruth red, white, and blue. I think it's still upstairs. I have not listed that one on eBay yet. Jazz Chisholm. Pulled a Jared Kelenic red, white, and blue. So pulled some decent stuff. So I was happy with the Juan Soto. Was really happy when it sold for $45. I only got 3 Cubs, but I did get a Chris Bryant silver. So that was cool. I was happy with that. Pulled the base Baez and a Chris Bryant insert. So that was my Prism. Put those with my Cubs. So the main attraction of my baseball card road trip Saturday was Mike Sommer's card shop. So went down there, and I told Mike has had like 30,000 Cubs for me, approximately. They're still in my car. I'll take a picture, the before and after, because I'm going to get them counted, hopefully tonight. So I've shared this story before. Ahead of the National, he goes, "Hey, do you want me to bring the Cubs to the National?" And I'm like, for the sake of both of us, I want to come down to your shop. I want to check out your shop. So I'll just come down this summer. I beat the end of summer by 3 days? I think fall starts Tuesday. So made it down there, and it's easy to find because I jump on, what is it, Veterans Parkway, I think, and then boom, take a right on University, and it's right there on the main drag. So I pulled in and walked in. So he has like a side room with like the main card shop. So you walk in the front door to the main card, the original card shop, and then Mike has on the side. So you walk into Mike's area, and very roomy. So I say it's the perfect card shop, and I'm going to tell you why. So number one, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of space. There's tables and chairs. I love that because why? I love digging through bargain boxes. Zach, what's up? Good morning. I love digging through bargain boxes. And as I walked into Mike's shop, I see he had quite a few people in there, 6, 7 when I walked in. And there were a few people sitting at these tables going through boxes. Pick up a box, take it over the table. I love that. Some of the card shops, the Freeport card shop that I go to, absolutely love the selection they have, but I'm like tucked away back. There's only one table. You're surrounded by boxes. It's kind of like claustrophobic. But the cards I can pull, outweigh the other. My other card shop, the only card shop in Madison, it's just not a good card shop. It's kind of messy. There's nowhere to like sit and sort cards. There's really not a singles selection. It's just kind of jumbled. And I'm sure there's people that like that. Just because it's the perfect card shop for me doesn't mean it's the perfect card shop for you or, for the next guy. But I like singles. Like I like digging through bargain boxes. I like the nostalgia of junk wax era. I think you would love Mike's card shop. I think you should take P down to Bloomington at some weekend. Check out Mike's card shop because it's a trip down memory lane, which I'm going to get into. So Mike and we talked for a little bit as I arrived. And then we did our trade. So I took down, I brought him some oddball stuff, some Hostess, Kellogg's, some other random cards. Brought him down some Wisconsin beer. So we did our trade out in the parking lot, moved all the cards, the Cubs stuff, which I'll show off here later today. And then went back in and, hey, I'm going to look around. First mistake I made, which I pulled through and I withheld adding another PC to my collection. Zach, you'll get a kick out of this because whenever I look through Bears cards, whenever I find, if I'm sorting through and I see a Jim McMahon or a Fridge, it's like, man, I should start a Bears PC. And so I'm digging, and I see a couple of McMahons, and I'm like, man, I should, for 25 cents, I should put these aside and start a little side PC, a little Bears collection. And I made the joke, and Mike teased me about starting a 1 million Bears collection. Not going to happen. I'm going to stick to my Cubs only. But I'm always tempted by Bears because I was a big Bears football card collector in the early 90s, and I loved especially the 86 top set. That's probably one of my favorite designs of all trading cards. Love that design. There were a stack of 86 tops football in there. 250K Bears collection. I don't think so. That was like the first, and I didn't, and then so then I turned around, and so he, like, a bunch of singles. So you walk in, and these tables and chairs, and they have like Magic tournaments, Magic the Gathering tournaments, for the next door card shop, and then you walk to the right, and that's like Mike's shop. So Mike has tables set up, and he's got on the interior, he has monster boxes of players. So he's got like Griffey, Bo Jackson, Frank Thomas, Sandberg, Bryant, like, star names and a lot of the 80s and 90s stars. And then so it's kind of like would it be a horseshoe? So then behind that, that's where like the football, and they're by team. And then on the one wall, it's team baseball sorted by team, and that's where you have a lot of the newer stuff, which I'll show some of the Cubs that I pulled out of there. So those are sorted by team, and then he's got a shelf of like just some random like memorabilia. I look over next to the team boxes of baseball. There's magazines for $2 a piece, which I'll show off, and I tweeted those out last night. On the other side, he's got more. He's got like complete sets. Then he's got a room, which is just, it was like, it took me back 1990. Okay. And he's got a bunch of like wax packs, like 50 cents or $1. Some are $2. And like, I'm digging through, there's like some of the, it's not Yo MTV Raps, but the other music cards that came out around that time, 91, I think. New Kids on the Block cards, just a bunch of like Desert Shield from 90, 91, like a bunch of that era wax. There's baseball, there's football wax packs from that era. He's got boxes, wax boxes. One of the coolest things that I saw was he had a couple wax boxes of non-sport from the late 70s. The Gong Show. He had a couple wax boxes of the Gong Show cards. He had a wax box of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band box. He's got non-sports set from the 80s, like not Goonies, Gizmo, Gremlins, some of those. So just really took me back. So many, like, just nostalgia overload. So I went through, so I'm going to show off some stuff that I picked up. So why is it the perfect shop? Because I love singles and I love space. Singles and space, the two S's of a perfect card shop. And of course, Mike's very helpful. Like, he was, asking people, customer service was top notch, asking people if they were looking for anything specific, helping them out, greeting them. I know that's, what do you look for in a card shop? But singles, number one, in plenty of space to look through those singles. That's what I look for in a great card shop. How big is his space? It's fairly small. So he like rents. So it's called, I think, the Collectible Corner is the name of the card shop. So he rents like a side space of the main card shop. So the main card shop it's in a mini mall, and then the main card shop owner like knocked a wall out to the adjoining suite, the adjoining business space. And that's what Mike rents, is like the adjoining space. So size wise, I mean, I'm not good with measuring, but I would say, so he has like the part he has is a couple tables, like, what are these, 6-foot tables? So probably 1 or 2 6-foot tables, so 12, so probably 12, 15 feet by 15 feet is like the card area, and then the room is pretty small. So it's a fairly small space, but the like he has like half of this suite. And I call it a suite like it's, the sections of the mini mall. And then the other half is where all the tables and chairs are, which is actually part of the main card shop. I call it the main card shop because that's the main card shop. So that's where they host like the tournaments. But when they're not having tournaments, it's just free. It's empty space. So if you're a consumer, you can take a box over there and sort through. So that's kind of my really terrible way of explaining the how big the space was. So I started through some of the 80s and 90s stars. Dan, total content fail. No, I didn't. There's a picture posted of us, and it kind of, does he have any online? He probably does. Check out his blog. Google Wax Pack Hero, and I'm sure there are photos online. But I was sorting through. I am a sucker for Griffey and Bo, because that's the era I grew up. So when I find Bo Jackson and Ken Griffey Jr. cards in 25-cent boxes, and I love oddball stuff, I'm a sucker for it. So, and some of these will be trade bait. Bo Jackson and Ken Griffey Jr. are some of the most requested players for trades. So I always like to have cards on hand. These are cool. These are like the unlicensed Broders from the late 80s, early 90s. This is him and Bo Jackson in a Memphis Chicks uniform. Then, of course, the Royals. Just so much nostalgia. More Bo Jackson. He had a huge selection of Bo Jackson cards. Yeah, I love these out of a Post. Remember getting these out of cereal. My non-collector friends would give me their cereal cards. So those were some of the bargain box finds. Then I went through some Cubs, and I found some Cubs that either I don't know if I have, or they looked, either I don't have them, or what's up, Tom? Either I don't have them or they didn't look familiar. This Kerry Wood, I'm sure I have this card, but it didn't look familiar. So for 25 cents, definitely. So this is a new Javi Baez for my collection. So this is from, I don't know what set this is from. Is this the Blake Jameson set? I can't remember. So that, Dylan Cease, numbered to 250, purple parallel. Here's another unlicensed card. How about that? Like, just the background, the Wrigley background with Raffy in the foreground. That's a sweet card. This is from one of the national giveaways in 2015. Kyle Schwarber. Mike Sommer has a really good selection of bargain boxes. He has helped me fuel my eBay store. Yeah, Tom, he has some really cool stuff. Jake Arrieta Gold from 2010. This card I've never seen before. Oh, this was a national exclusive from 93. National Sports Collectors Convention, 1993. Ryan Sandberg. I've never seen this before. And this is Sandberg in his, I believe all of these photos are high school. Yeah, because he was a big 3-sport star in Washington State. So this is a sweet card. This card, now, this is Cole Hamels. This goes into my collection for 2 reasons. Despite him being, so this is kind of where you get into the gray area for my 1 Million Cubs project. So there's not a Cub in sight. I think I see a Cub logo. Yeah, there's some Cub logos in the background, but it's Cole Hamels, Phillies, and the reason this goes in the collection is not because Cole Hamels later played for the Cubs, but this is part of was it 2016? Topps did a 100 years of Wrigley set. So this goes in the Cubs card collection because it's part of the Wrigley Field insert set. So that's number one. That's any card in that set will go in the Cubs collection. But number two, this holds a special place in my heart. And I don't even know if I have this. I'm sure I have this card, but I don't have many because a lot of people, like in trades, when I receive these cards, a lot of people won't put, even if it's the 100 years of Wrigley, they won't put the, non-Cubs cards like the Cole Hamels. I think there might be Ruth. They won't put those in the trade packages because they're in a Phillies uniform or a Yankees or, a non-Cubs uniform. So I don't receive too many of the non-Cubs cards in this set. So I had this out. The second reason, I was at this game. I was in the bleachers for this game. It was the first time the Cubs had been no-hit in 7,920 games, dating 50 years. The last time they had been no-hit was in the 1960s. I can't remember. It's not on the back of the card. But it was Sandy Koufax no-hit the Cubs in the 60s. So I think it was 1964 when Sandy Koufax no-hit the Cubs, because this no-hitter was July 25th, 2014. Since 2014, July 2014. That's not correct. It was 2015. Now I'm getting my years because my wife and I were at this game and we were just dating at the time, but we didn't meet until October of 2014. So I think that's an error on the date. Now I have to go back. Now I'm like confusing myself. Like I'm pretty sure I moved to Wisconsin in 2014. My wife and I had not even met yet in July of 2014. So I think that's an error on the back of the card. I think it was July 25th, 2015, because we were there. It was Jorge Soler. It was kind of the first 65. So, yeah, so it was 50 years. It was 50 years because that no-hitter was 2015. So, yes, it was just shy of 50 years. It was extremely hot that day. It was like 100 degrees with the heat index, the sun blazing down. We were all in the bleachers. It was like the first time I met like a bunch of my wife's friends. Most of them were still living in Chicago. They've since moved. And we get there like an hour and a half before the game so I could get my Jorge Soler bobblehead. And it was so brutally hot. Like the game had not even started and we're like wanting to leave. I powered through. My wife and one or two of her friends like just hung out in the shade underneath in the concession area away from the sun. It was so hot. And Cole Hamels threw the no-hitter. I was excited because I saw history. Like I've probably only watched a couple no-hitters on TV, let alone being at a no-hitter in person. The one thing that I'm upset with is I don't have a ticket because my ticket is like a piece of paper, and I hate that. I'm a ticket guy. Like I want an actual ticket. Now you don't even get a printed piece of paper. Now it's all on a mobile app. So because I'd love to put this in like and I'm sure we have pictures of us in the crowd. Like I'd love to do like a display, but alas, I don't have a ticket stub. I could probably find one. I could probably pick one up on eBay. So maybe in the future. So one of my favorite pickups, I'm going to say this is my second favorite purchase, and I'll show you my favorite purchase next. I couldn't go wrong. Now I remember as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, I was fascinated with early 80s cards because that seemed like so long ago. It was vintage. Like 83, 84, 85 to me was vintage in like 1990. Now you think back, and time is a funny thing because in 1990 I was 8 years old, but 1985 was 5 years old, but that was like vintage. I remember thinking 87 Topps the wood grain border was vintage 3 years after release. Now it's like 5 years ago today was 2016. Of course, as a Cubs fan, that was forever ago. Turkey Cards, what's up? I used to collect all my ticket stubs for memories. I don't like the new way now. Neither do I. I love, in fact, I want to buy some of the season ticket books for the Cubs, especially like in 2013. They did like pictures of baseball cards on the actual tickets. When you buy Samsung Lions tickets online, you print the sheet, then input those numbers at the stadium machine and receive physical tickets. That's cool. That is really cool. So to me in like 1990, this was a vintage set. And I remember got the 7-Up logo. So this is from 1905. And of course it's got Rhino on the front. So this is sealed $3. Can't beat it. Mike gave me a discount on top of the sticker price on all that stuff. So that was fun. Tom says sometime around 1988, the cameras must have gotten vintage, right? 87 seemed so vintage. And in 1990. So my favorite purchase, as I'm like digging through one of the boxes, I happened to look over and I saw a box that said magazines, $2. I'm not a big magazine guy, although I've started to, as I acquire some collections, and I'll find old Beckett's, and the content alone is worth the price. And I actually picked up, I was telling Mike, I had a local auction that was doing the auction online. It was like a consignment sports card collection. And there was a bunch of baseball card magazines. There was like a dozen up for auction. And I put a bid because there were, the cards inside go for a couple bucks, some of them even more. So I decided to put a few bucks on it. I was the only bidder. I got like a dozen baseball card magazines for like $1. A good friend of mine helps with the auction, coordinates it. He's kind of like the expert, gives the expert opinion. Here's what you should list. So he tells me, he's like, hey, we found like 30 more of magazines that weren't part of the auction. We're just going to throw them in your lot since you won the magazine lot. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I picked them up and I tweeted them out during the National because we met up at the National and he gave me the goodies. So like 40 baseball card. There was like the 87 with the Bo Jackson. There was the Ken Griffey Jr. Rookie in one of the baseball card magazines. So like, plus the content alone for like $1 or $2 or even $3, $4, $5. Some of the content alone is worth that price. And then like the cards inside is like a bonus. So Mike had old Beckett's and baseball card magazines, $2 each. So the first one I noticed, so here's where the nostalgia kicked in. And it wasn't because I wanted to flip it, or I just need this in my collection. This is like, I remember when this came out, 1991. Man, I was a huge magazine collector in the 90s as a kid. The bow, and then the shoulder pad. He had one. He had the black and white Beckett in there. I have one already. I think I might have 2 copies. So I didn't pick one of those up. But I didn't have $2. This is just a work of art. This is a work of art. So I couldn't go wrong. I love those old mags. I had the Jordan Price guy. Did collecting Wrigley in the background cards ever cross your mind? Not really, Dan. I know my buddy Matt, he's Once a Cub on Twitter. He's a big Wrigley in the background collector. It's something that I'll get them in some trades, or if I'm sorting through and I find them, sometimes I throw them on the side, but I don't actually have a space for them. They end up just kind of getting turned over into random boxes. It's something I've considered, like once I hit 1 million Cubs cards, Do I branch out and do not only Wrigley in the background, but like cameos? Because like the 83 Topps Willie Smith has Sandberg in the background. So like a secondary rookie card of Ryan Sandberg. So yeah, it's something I've considered, but I haven't like actively pursued it or really gave it any attention right now. What's up, Diego? Good morning. Diego, I'm just going through some magazines that I picked up, including this piece of art. This is art. This is piece of art. Bo Jackson. Then there was, let's just stick with Bo Jackson here. Topps magazine. I don't have too many Topps magazines. I have a few in. So this is Bo Jackson on Topps magazine, but this is not why. The main reason I wanted this one was because Greg Maddux is on the back drinking some. Remember the glass bottle Gatorades? A young Greg Maddux drinking a cup of Gatorade. It's like lemon lime, I think, glass bottle Gatorade. And this one doesn't have, I don't think this has the cards, or does it? No, I don't think the cards are in this one, but it does have there's a 90 Bowman poster. This is like a pull-out poster that shows all of the 90 Bowman card. It's like, it's a checklist. So like, look at that mantle. Right? That's just really cool. No cards, but the 90 Bowman poster is in set. Porter and I confess that when Diego starts his videos with "Hey, hey, hey, collectors," it brings us extreme joy. That's awesome. Here's another Topps magazine. Jose Canseco. I think this. Oh, speaking of nostalgia, love the back cover here. So this is from. Oh, this is the premiere issue. Wow, this is a collector's item in its own right. Premiere issue of Topps magazine from winter of 1990. And how about the back? Reebok the Pump. I never had Reebok the Pump as a kid. My friend Scott, who I was with last weekend, Club 400, he had the pump. He had Reebok the Pump. I did not. I did have the LA Gear light up shoes, but I did not have the Reebok Pump. There are cards in this. Actually, they've been cut. Well, some have been cut out. So you've got Ruben Sierra and Kevin Mitchell. And then Brett Saberhagen and Mike Scott. And then it looks like there's, let's see, Dave Staten, and who's the other one? Dan Peltier. And I think you've got the 90 Topps poster in this one. Oh, wow. There's a Ken Griffey Jr. in this one. And Jerome Walton. So those are cards there. So that's nice. Let's see. So on the front cover of this, it says minor league sensations and hottest rookies. So let's dive in here. And we have the 1990 Topps 5 of baseball's hottest rookies. 1990. And who are they? They are future stars. Greg Vaughn, who actually did have some good seasons. I think he had a 50 home run season. Greg Vaughn, Todd Zeile, Montreal Expos pitcher, and future star Mark Gardner. Alex Sanchez, and Eric Anthony, Houston Astros, Eric Anthony. Those were the 5 hottest rookies of 1990. Let's find the minor league sensations, and maybe we have better luck with the minor league sensations. I've got to go through. I probably should have checked this out beforehand, because now I'm going to have to go through the. Oh, there's an article about the George Bush card from 90 Tops. This is by far the best content geared toward me. It's like you were trolling me at this point. Bazooka Blast. Oh, there's like a little Air Jordan postcard thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to move on because this is getting really boring. What is this? Do you remember these? Oh, I remember those. And you'd circle what you wanted. I don't remember how, like, you had points and you could get like these tchotchkes. Join our team. Did you have to sell? I think you had to sell stuff. Yeah. If you sold 42 items, you could get a Nintendo game cartridge of Super Mario Brothers 2. Or you could sell 14 items and get Girl Talk. What else was on here? Oh, Super Duper Double Looper Turbo Race Set. You could CBS records or tapes. Well, that's really dating it. Only 85 items for a Nintendo gaming system. So that was wow. This is like packed with nostalgia. Oh, okay. Remember? Oh man, I would get these every year for Christmas. I'd have Paperboy, the basketball game, the football game, those little handheld video games. Wow, so much nostalgia in that is that was $2. That was the best $2 I've ever spent. Just reliving childhood right there from 1990. Boys Life type stuff. Absolutely. Then here's what so this was Sports Collectors Digest baseball card price guide. What's up, Jeremy? So this is mainly a price guide, but it's got Michael Jordan in a Cubs uni, in a White Sox uni. This is cool. Fave cereal of the 80s. I was the Monster. I loved the Monster cereal. Oh, this is going to take me down a different path here, Dan. Fruity Pebbles was Dan's favorite 80s cereal. I loved Boo Berry, Frankenberry, Count Chocula. Frankenberry was my favorite. Count Chocula was probably my least favorite. And Boo Berry, like Frankenberry, was probably number one. What else was there? Cinnamon Toast Crunch is always like, that's just a timeless classic. I would have to say, S'mores. S'mores cereal was my all-time favorite. S'mores was my all-time favorite. And then they had some of the other Captain Crunch. I didn't like Captain Crunch because it tore up the roof of my mouth. Still to this day, I must have a sensitive mouth, interior mouth. I don't know. Corn Pops. I was not a Corn Pops fan. I did like Fruity Pebbles. Those games were made for the bathroom pre-iPhone. Yeah. Otherwise, if you didn't have a game in the bathroom, you'd have to read the back of the mouthwash bottle. So yeah, Frankenberry and S'mores were my tops. I'm trying to remember what else. And basically, I was a sucker for the toys. I've got an Applejack story. Whatever had the best toy. Like if there were baseball cards in the cereal, if there were like sports toys, if there were cars, if there were whatever was whatever was inside the box, toy wise. I was a Lucky Charms fan. Applejacks, I had a bad Applejacks. I think I had some sour milk because I got sick on Applejacks, and to this day, and this was probably 30 years ago, was that bad reaction to Applejacks, and I to this day it like kind of when I think of Applejacks, I kind of gag, much like the smell of whiskey. Who would have thought comparing the smell of Applejacks and the smell of whiskey would generate the same reaction? But it does for me. Cookie Crisp was a good one. Cookie Crisp was a great cereal. What else was there? There was Oreo. Oreo O's was kind of a later cereal that came out. The one that I'm thinking of finally came to my mind. and it came out later. Came out probably when I was a teenager, or early teens, or heading into the teens. Was Rice Krispie Treat cereal, because I love Rice Krispie Treats. In fact, did you know? Okay, now I'm on a tangent. Did you know they have a new, they have like the you can buy Rice Krispie Treats in a box, like in the snack aisle. So those Rice Krispie Treats kind of suck. Like, you've got to go real. Like, you get the ooey gooey Rice Krispie Treats. The packaged Rice Krispie Treats, they're just like, eh, not real. Now, and I just discovered this last week or 2 weeks ago, they have like gooey Rice Krispie Treats, and somehow it's taken them 25 years, but they have finally made a Rice Krispie Treat that is actually pretty good and almost mirrors a real Rice Krispie Treat. It's ooey and gooey. It's thick. It's not like the compressed, it's very good. Check it out in your snack aisle. This is not a paid endorsement for Rice Krispie Treats, but it was. I bought the box, and in fact, I came home from lunch one day, and the box wasn't there, and I thought, oh no, my wife ate the last Rice Krispie Treat, but she just threw the box away, and the last Rice Krispie Treat was there on the shelf, and so it was my dessert at lunch. So yeah, if you like Rice Krispie Treats, check those out. Those are fantastic. My brother and I put Bugles in a bowl with milk, thinking it was cereal. Bad idea. Oh, that sounds awful. Oh, that sounds awful. So the Michael Jordan price guide, that was the last one. Oh, big flat on the back for Fritsch Sports Cards, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I've never been up there. I should go up there. It's probably a 2-hour drive for me. There's no card in this one, but just for the simpleness of my Sox uniform on the cover, wanted to pick that up. So those were from Mike Sommer's Card Shop. It was an awesome day. Great to see Mike. Saw Dan, who's on Twitter as well, Dan Bell. And the guy that I bought all the Olympics cards from. So this was probably 3 years ago. He was what happened in back in the day. He would buy all the clearance. He would buy a bunch of clearance boxes and cases of like the off sports brands, and he had all this base, and that's what I picked up for super cheap. And he had like a box of 5,000 Cubs, so it made it worth it. And then I, selling all he kept the Simone Biles and all the Michael Phelps, and then all the other Olympics cards were in the boxes that I got. And I've had some good success selling some of the other, singles. So he was saying, he's like, yeah, there's no deals like that anymore. He's now selling on sport. I'm like, hey, if Mike doesn't buy any of your boxes, I'm your guy. And he's like, well, he goes, I'm selling on Sport Lots now. And so he's doing that thing. So it was good to see him. Go to Fritsch next time you go to the Dells. I don't even know how far Stevens Point is from the Dells. It might be the Dells is like 45 minutes for me, but I think Stevens Point's like 2 hours. I think it's pretty far. It'd have to be like a solo trip, I think, just to go up there for half a day or whatever. So that's what I had for today. Got some eBay shipments to package up. What's up, Mike? It's still a couple hours north. Yeah. Stevens Point's it's pretty far up there. So gonna do that. Not sure if I'm gonna go live tomorrow or not. Tomorrow is Monday. We've got this week. This coming Saturday is, by the way, if you're in the Bloomington Normal area, Mike's Card Shop has a show next Saturday. So if you're in South Illinois, head over to the Collectible Corner in Normal next Saturday. Our card show next Saturday. Sheraton Hotel here in Wisconsin, John Nolan Drive. Let me know if you would be. If you want to head over, I think it's going to be a fantastic show. We've got 5 or 6 all new vendors. We've got a lot of returning vendors. And actually, if you've been to the Dell show, I'm trying to think of how many vendors we have that also do the Dells. At least, let's see, from the last Dell show, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 vendors who were at the Dell that will be at our show next weekend. And there's probably more than that I'm not counting right now. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be our best show yet. And that's not just me saying it, because I'm going to be truthful. And I've had, like, our June show, I thought we were going to have an amazing turnout, and our turnout sucked in June. We had a great vendor turnout in June. Our attendance sucked. July, I thought our attendance was going to suck, and our attendance was the best. And then I thought our August attendance was going to suck, and it was even better than July. Saturday, I think our attendance I'm going to try to be balanced. I don't think our attendance is going to suck, but I think we're going to have a good turnout. It's not going to be a great turnout. It's not going to be overwhelming, but I think it's going to be a good turnout. And our vendor turnout, I'm super excited about our vendor turnout so far. And this week I'll go through the confirmations for other people that I haven't talked with yet. So that's next Saturday, Sheraton Hotel, Madison, Wisconsin, John Nolan Drive, 9 to 3, free admission. I will have my bargain boxes. I know there's going to be some sweet vintage. Mark from Iowa is going to be in for the first time. If you've ever done the Rockford Mall show, if you've gone there, he sets up there. He set up at the Rockford show in Loves Park a few months ago. That's where I met him the first time. He's at the Dells. He has tons of vintage, tons of slabs, awesome stuff. So I'm excited that he's going to be coming next week. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful Sunday. Go Bears. And we will talk later.